fans are a little upset that Blake Snell signed a 2-year deal, which is essentially a 1-year deal.
And I meant to ask you. 2 years, $62 million, right?
Right, with the San Francisco Giants.
So how did that end up landing, money-wise? How did the negotiation end up working in the end, this weird, long, endless...
Well, I guess I want to get another kick at the can. So it's a 1-year deal, essentially. If he does well, then he goes back into the market again. But, people have asked me what happened. Did Boris overplay his hand? From people that told me he didn't have any offers. I think there was an offer from the Yankees, but I don't know the exact amount of money. But in terms of people came to him and he said he wanted this, I don't think a lot of teams made offers. And I think that maybe they were scared off by what they perceived to be Scott's history and that he would want a lot of money. Maybe there were numbers that were floated out there, but for the Yankees, it didn't make sense. As much as they need another pitcher, especially with Garrett Cole being out for up to 2 months, maybe even longer, you're not going to pay $1.10 on a dollar. You're just not. It doesn't make fiscal sense. And you can say, oh, so what? Well, no, you say so what? It's not your money. It's Hal Steinbrenner and the other investors at the Yankees. It's their money. So it's $62 million for the team. Because if he breaks down this year and gets hurt, then he's not going to opt out. So $62 million for the Yankees, if they sign that contract, would be over $125 million of cost. They weren't going to do it. So if the Yankees did, in fact, make an offer of 6 years, $150, which is out there, I have never been able to confirm with the Yankees. I have not been able to confirm with Boris. If they did, that's on him. That's on Blake Snell for turning it down. And a lot of people say, well, what's the big deal if it's only for 2 years? And I think that the Giants have it arranged where it'd be $17 million of pay, $14 million bonuses later. So it wouldn't be, $60 million this year. It would be about $34 million. You're still going to pay taxes on the other end as well because it's not like the clock stops. They're going to be paying high salaries down the line as well. This is a guy who had a draft pick attached to him. You want to give up your end of the first-round draft pick for a guy to pitch 1 year on your team? I think the Yankees were willing to do that for a 6-year commitment from Blake Snell, but for what could be a 1-year commitment, does that make any sense? The Giants think it makes sense, and they think it makes sense with Matt Chapman, too. We'll see if it works out. The Giants did a lot of heavy lifting, and they had to. They're in the same division as the Dodgers. Dodgers spent over $1 billion. Giants are next. So you take a look at everything that has gone on. When Steve Cohen says there are only 3 teams that he thinks are better than the Mets, and the Mets are competitive with everybody else, he's wrong. The Mets are not as good as the Braves. They're not as good as the Phillies. They are not as good as the Dodgers. They are not as good as the Giants. They are not as good as the Padres. And they are not as good as the Diamondbacks. That's 6 right there. I don't think they're better than the Cubs. That's 7.